Algebra is a process of using the properties of numbers to manipulate unknown or changing quantities. These quantities are known as variables and often represented using letters to distinguish them from numbers. And yes, I have a class in the background. This is my A1. Hello. Everybody say hi to Zach. Hi, Zach. All right, when we group or combine numbers together, we get what is known as an expression. An expression is any combination of numbers that we know and ones that we don't, or variables. So review the order of operations by giving the value of each of the following purely numerical expressions. Do this without a calculator. So for letter A, please pause as you go through and make sure you did them correctly. Letter A, you multiply first, which becomes 6, plus 7, which is 13. Letter B, you need to do the multiplication and division first. So first you need to do half times 6, so half of 6 is 3, so 8 minus 3 plus, and then you do 24 divided by 6, which is 4. Then you add or subtract from left to right. 8 minus 3 is 5, 5 plus 4 is 9. For letter C, you do parentheses first, so it will be 4 times 2 minus 7 times 2. 4 times 2 is 8. 7 times 2 is 14. 8 minus 14 is negative 6. For letter D, please notice that the division sign means that you do everything in the top, do everything in the bottom, then divide. So 5 squared is 25. 4 squared is 16. And then 1 minus 5 is negative 4. 25 minus 16 is 9. 9 plus 3 is 12. So 12 divided by negative 4 is negative 3. So parentheses goes first. 2 minus 7 is negative 5 times 5 minus 3, which is 2, plus 3 squared, which is 9. Then we do multiplication. Negative 5 times 2 is negative 10, plus 9 is negative 1. We have switched classes now, so if you hear anyone, it's probably Michael Bramlett, or Dimitri, or Reese. Letter F, you need to do this division first, so negative 16 plus 2 is negative 8, plus then we do this multiplication, so 5 times 2 is 10, divided by 2 to the third power, which is 8. So now I have 2 over 8, which reduces down to 1 over 4. Knowing your order of operations is absolutely essential. It's very, very important. Once we move past expressions that contain only numbers to ones that contain variables, you need to be able to read an expression and understand what is being done to the variable. So for exercise 2, if the letter X represents an unknown quantity, explain the calculation that each of the following expressions involving X represents. We're not solving for anything. There's not equal signs. We are just explaining what it is with words. So the first thing you do for this one is you do multiply X by 3. So multiply X by 3. And then the second thing you do is you subtract 8. Letter B, first you subtract 4 from X. And then second you divide by 2. And the last one, you square X, which will be whatever X is times itself twice. Then you multiply by 4. And finally, you subtract 8. If you can read an algebraic expression, one that contains variables, then you should also be able to evaluate the expression. So evaluating an expression means to find the result, so solve for variables that are known. So evaluate 4x minus 7 when x equals 5. So what you're going to do is you're going to plug 5 in for x. So first explain what calculations are occurring in the expression and then find its value. So the first thing you're going to do is multiply 4 and x. Then you will subtract 7. So we're going to multiply 4 and x, but this time x is 5. Then we're going to subtract 7. So 4 times 5 is 20, minus 7 is 13. Evaluate the expression 8 minus 2x squared when x equals negative 3. Show the calculations you do and the order in which you do them. So the first thing we're going to do is explain. So the first thing we will do is square x. Then we will multiply by 2. And finally, we will subtract from 8. So we have 8 minus 2 times negative 3 squared. So the first thing we do is square x. So negative 3 times negative 3 is positive 9. Then we multiply by 2. So 8 minus 18. And this time we are subtracting from 8. So 8 minus 18 is negative 10. Next, evaluate the expression 2 times x plus 8 divided by 3 plus 1 for when x equals negative 2. Show the steps in your calculation. So 2 times x is negative 2, so negative 2 plus 8 divided by 3 plus 1. So the first thing we're going to do is the parentheses. So 2 times, so negative 2 plus 8 is 6 divided by 3 plus 1. So the next thing is multiply by 2. 2 times 6 is 12. Divided by 3 plus 1. When we divide, 12 divided by 3 is 4, plus 1 equals 5. And finally, exercise 4. What is the value of the expression 1/2 x squared minus 2x minus 3 when x equals 4? So you're going to do everything we did up above, except we're going to plug 4 in for x. Oops. 2 times 4 minus 3. So first thing we'll do is square 4. So 1/2 times 4 squared is 16 minus 2 times 4 is 8 minus 3. Now we need 1/2 of 16, which is 8 minus 3. Well, 8 minus 8 is 0, so negative 3 is the answer.